Hi everyone, and welcome to Tuesday's Tips with Laurie and
Brittany. Hello.
Welcome back to part 2 of the cinch bags. I know in part 1 we were on the machine and we were stitching, and so we showed you how to start and do the applique part first, and then you tuck the bag through this cute little hole in the bag, and then you added the top lining piece on top, and you stitched, and then you put it through on the back, and when it's stitched on the back, it stitches, but it leaves an opening. It also leaves an opening on the back for the ribbons. So today we're going to show you how to finish the bag using those particular openings. So I'm going to have Brittany. I like to hand cut, but you definitely could take it to a cutting board and cut, leaving a 1/4 inch trim. Just trim it off so that there's a 1/4 inch between the stitch line and the where you're cutting. So she's going to trim that. Now while she trims this, you'll note she's trimming along 3 sides of this bag, but you're not going to be trimming the top. We don't want any holes in the top of our bag. That wouldn't work. So as she cuts, you know, when she gets here, it's already, that cut that you had made, it's already there. So you don't have to worry about cutting the stabilizer there, and you're not going to trim anything off the top. So go ahead and finish trimming on the sides. And then we're going to show you how we trim the corner. And we're only going to trim the 2 bottom corners off. We want to leave the 1/4 inch seam along the top 2 sides. And the reason for that is we want that seam is just going to kind of help strengthen that bag. You don't want to trim it too close there and have your bag ripping apart. So she's going to just about there. Sweet, thank you. And then what we're going to do is we take this, and I don't know if you can zoom in right here. So we recommend you cut at an angle going towards the corner, another angle going away from the corner, and then trimming the corner so that it reduces the bulk all the way around. But we're only going to do that on the 2 bottom corners. So again, about 1 inch out towards the corner, 1 inch out away from the corner, and just nip the corner. But see, I did not go through threads. Don't cut it clear to the threads or you will have a problem with the bottom of your bag. Now the next thing is on the back side is where there's a hole right here. So that's the hole where we flip our cinch bag through. And I just like to flip the corner and then I just push it in. We also have a turning tool, right?
We do.
So this turning tool is fabulous. It's made of metal.
Yeah, it's called the R&K turning tool, if you want to Google it.
And what I do is I love using this turning tool. I pop it in here and I can just pop my bag out really quickly with this. And the most important part of this process of the bag is make sure you get these top corners all the way out and these bottom 2 corners. Don't wait till you flip it again to get these bottom corners nice and square.
Yeah.
See how I squared that corner right there? Make sure you square them at this point.
And that will give you your perfectly squared corner here
On you flip
on
it
your
again.
finished bag.
Because if you don't square those up now, because at this point is when you're going to close this opening. So there's my opening, and this is my lining, so all you're going to see is the lining right now. So you can do several different ways. You can glue it shut, you can use seam tape, or you can iron it like this and you can stitch it with a needle and thread, however you would like to do that. And at this point then, you flip it one more time. So as soon as you finish stitching that opening shut, you flip it one more time and it turns into this. It's just right inside there. So once you flipped it, we iron this. And can you see how the corners turned out really nice? Because once you've ironed that shut, you can't get in the bag to flip that corner. So
very nice.
I'm going to turn the time over to Brittany, and she's going to demonstrate for us how to attach and put your ribbons in the cinch sack because you want them to work the right way. You want to be able to pull both sides and have it actually cinch correctly.
Yeah. So this is another of Laurie's tricks, is she folds the ribbon, here I'll show on this end. She folds the ribbon here in half long ways and then puts the pin through so that it looks like this when you've got the pin in. And another thing you can do is you can take a piece of tape and tape it around this ribbon so that it doesn't catch. So it'll just slide right through. So then you see the openings here. This is where you're going to thread through your ribbon. So let's see if I can get it in there. There we go. So you just put that through and thread that through.
Look at that. She's doing a great job. And one other,
inch it along.
Yeah. And when you thread it in, you can see how she's threading it with the right sides of the ribbon, both of them facing up. The reason you do that is when you get it in here, you want to see the pretty side of your ribbon. So I'll let you finish it. I'm almost through there. And we've got a special treat for you again today. Near the end, we've got some more fun samples we can show you of the animal cinch sacks. I don't know if you saw the sneak peeks going on throughout this week. I know there's been a few on our Instagram and a few on our Facebook page. All right, so you get to this point and they're both equal, right?
And right sides up. Yep.
And right sides up. So at this point, Brittany, you want to explain what we're going to do?
Yeah. So then at this point, you're going to pull the one string. Sorry, did I take that too long?
You taped it. Great. It's no problem.
So you're going to pull one string. So there's a longer side on one edge and a shorter side on the other. And then you'll pull the other string the same way. So you have a long side, a short side, and a short side and a long side on each side of your cinch bag.
That's right. And then essentially you're taking the long one now and you're going to thread it through the back side out this way. And you're going to take the other long one and you're going to thread it through that back side out that way. And you're going to end up with equal ribbons, and they're both coming out opposite ends. And those are the ones you tied together to make your cinch bag.
Yep.
So some tricks to getting it through. We're going to flip the bag over to the back so you can see the back side. There's some tricks, so I'm going to let Brittany get that ribbon started on this side. And I'm going to show you that there's this hole where the ribbons came out, and then there's also a hole right here in the casing. You see where I stuck that in? We are actually going to go through this hole. You can go back through the ribbon hole if you want and go back around, but there's a lot of ribbons coming in and out that one spot. So we've designed the cinch bag so you can actually come through this back side, and it frees up that ribbon hole so that there's two coming out here and two going in there, and same on the other side. So go ahead.
So we'll come in that side.
And this time we're going through the back part of the bag. And the reason we do have a chopstick here is this has a seam, right? And in this seam there's 4 pieces of fabric. You're trying to find your way through the middle of the 2 pieces. So if you slide a chopstick right in that hole and you can feel the chopstick hitting the safety pin, then you know that you're in the right location.
Yep. There you go.
Awesome. And then I just pull the 2 out together, and there is that side. So I'm going to work on the other side, Brittany, and I'm going to let you grab these fun.
Another peek at our new cinch bags.
So
last week we showed the boxes. Here's our little raccoon family. In the 5 different sizes. I know, isn't
4x4.
cute?
Here's a 5x7 hoop. We also have the hoops in the millimeter sizes so that you can figure out which hoop size works best for each one of your projects.
But look how cute that is when it's cinched.
They're so fun and
that
whimsical.
little tail. Yes.
I love
Whimsical is a
that.
good word.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And we also have some little owl. Well, that's a big owl. this embellishment.
That is so cute. Isn't that a darling
love.
bag? And the embellishments on it. What a fun,
so
whimsical.
Yeah.
So cute.
Such a fun little bow on that owl.
Isn't that fun? And you can see Brittany's demonstrating how those cinch ribbons work. So once they're in both sides, you're able to pull.
You can see how it's knotted on the end, so you are able to pull them together and it cinches right up. There you go. And you can see on this one that's cinched, you can see how it's through this opening on the front, and then there's also that in the back. You can have them going through the same, but like Laurie said, there's a lot of ribbon going through there, so it's nice to have it through both. There you go.
So on here, you can see now we have both of them threaded to the back and both threaded through the front. So what I like to do for pretties is I like to see how I want the ribbons to look, and I like the way these look, so I'm going to tie just a knot on the one end of this side, and then you tie a knot on the other side, just like that. And you can trim these off when you're all finished, and it's so much fun. These are just such a fun gift idea. You can put lots of fun, and there you go. And it cinches, works just like it's supposed to. If it's not cinching, maybe rethread your ribbon and try making sure that you get it through right. So again, this was on our Sweet Sentiment Cinch Sack collection. But oh, don't you love these? They're so
coming
fun.
Soon. So be excited.
So there's all fun, lots of fun sizes and lots of fun designs.
All right, well, thanks for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. Oh, I have to tell you a fun thing about Brittany. So we're using chopsticks. What do you use chopsticks for, Brittany? I use them for my cinch bags.
I really like to eat popcorn with chopsticks because I don't like to get my fingers greasy and salty. So I use chopsticks to eat my popcorn.
Fun fact about Brittany. Isn't that great? Thank you so much, and join us again next week. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.